Some of you all say that I should talk about something other than LeBron and the Lakers. Well, today I'm going to talk about the Warriors and LeBron and the Lakers. Another night of watching Steph Curry try to carry a super team. You know, everybody calls them a super team because they have Draymond and Clay, two people that you never heard of until they started winning with the Warriors. And if they were traded away, would disappear into obscurity. Don't fool yourselves. As much hype as people want to build around Clay and Draymond, they would stop existing as soon as they were traded away. And if we're being honest, most people didn't know who Steph Curry was unless you were following his college career. Out of that group, one continues to be an actual superstar, while the other two benefit from being in a system. I'm not so sure that system benefits Steph Curry. And I can't help but wonder what would happen if Steph complained the way that LeBron complains. I mean, imagine Steph Curry with an actual center. When's the last time the Warriors had an actual center? What if Steph Curry had someone who could carry the load half the time? Someone that could pick up the offensive burden and allow Steph to finally have a rest instead of running to get his shot, running to get someone else open, running to make an incredible drive and finish at the rim against bigger defenders. Oh, but the system benefits Steph Curry. Are you sure? Did you guys watch the Kings game last night? Because I saw Steph Curry having to make his own shots again, setting more screens for other players than players set for him. And then someone who was shooting 1 for 8 from three on the night, getting to take the last shot in the game, despite the fact that Steph was the only one on the Warriors who scored anything in the last 4 minutes of the game. But let's not put the ball in his hands. Steve Kerr, you shit, you fucking idiot. Call a goddamn timeout and set up a play for Steph. But Andrew Wiggins, the guy that was being scorned by the entire league until he went to the Warriors. I think what really bothers me is that LeBron James, who has become legendary for shrinking when the moment is big and has become an even worse shooter as his career goes on, gets celebrated, while Steph Curry, the actual existing best shooter, has to watch bullshit like Wiggins take the last shot of the game. Despite his small size, Steph is a more impressive finisher at the rim than LeBron James, who has to get bailed out. Steph Curry does not get the calls that LeBron James does. Steph Curry is a better shooter than LeBron James, and Steph Curry is a better clutch shooter than LeBron James. But instead of hearing about Steph Curry, we have to hear about LeBron James because of the NBA media marketing machine. Let's swap the style of play of LeBron and Steph. So imagine Steph just lazily sat at the top of the key, waiting until the lane became wide open and then cut in for a layup, rather than defying the odds of getting around the entire other team to finish at the rim. And by the way, did you see the number of times that Steph got hit driving at the end of the game with no calls? Now, you could argue that those should have been no calls. I mean, there was contact, but I also don't want the refs to call everything. I mean, that gets pretty boring, right? Oh, unless it's a Laker game, then suddenly no one has any problem with ridiculous phantom calls being called. I mean, if that contact happened to LeBron James, despite him being a 260-pound roid freak, the whistle would have blown. Those are the things that change the game. Those calls right there that weren't called, that's the difference in the Warriors beating the Kings. You know what else would be a difference in the Warriors beating the Kings? A center. Or maybe anyone else that you could actually look to help out Steph Curry. But Kevon Looney's rebounds. You know who else gets rebounds? Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Jokic. Except that while they get you double-digit rebounds, they're also getting you 40, 50 fucking points. Kevon Looney, 2 points, but he got his 10 rebounds. Draymond Green. Look, as someone who has had to defend guys bigger than him his whole life, I can appreciate that Draymond does a pretty good job against guys bigger than him. You know who would do a better job? A bigger defender. Now, everybody making excuses in their head right now, let me pump your brakes for you. Imagine right now, Laker fans or LeBron fans, if we proposed a straight up trade of Anthony Davis for Draymond Green. How's that sound? Would you do that? Do you realize that Steph Curry doesn't have anyone to lob the ball to when he draws the defense? What's the tallest guy on the Warriors? 6'9"? I mean, it's important to be able to finish at the rim, but imagine not having the option to lob the ball to a great finisher. It doesn't even exist on the Warriors. Now take the Lakers on the other hand. Many polls would put Anthony Davis above Embiid and Jokic if he was always healthy. That's how much help LeBron James has. Fortunately for us, LeBron is dumb enough to keep shooting the ball instead of giving Anthony Davis the ball. Suddenly you have a reality check that the Warriors are a team that outperforms their actual talent level, and you wouldn't trade AD for Draymond in a million years. Draymond spends more time sucking LeBron's dick than setting screens for Steph these days anyway, so just send him to LA where they can suck each other's dicks full time. You want to talk about super teams and talent and all that crap? I can't help but think back to ESPN's thing about LeBron James has been too patient with the Lakers and all of their mishaps and the bad roster. Oh my God. The Lakers did everything they could to appease LeBron James, and then were faced with digging themselves out of the hole that was created because of their attempt to appease LeBron James. And what was it that was so terrible that the Lakers organization had done? They had surrounded LeBron James with such terrible talent as Malik Monk, who dismantled the Warriors last night. Not good enough for LeBron, but good enough to beat the defending champs. Malik Monk, 32 points last night on 61% shooting, including clutch plays and clutch free throws down the stretch. Has LeBron shot 61% this entire season, despite the fact that he shoots almost all of them right at the rim? I still don't think LeBron has reached 61% over the entire season. The Lakers run plays for LeBron James to shoot three-pointers. I've pointed this out in several of my videos where I break down the game. And I'm just like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because he's a terrible three-point shooter. And yet I have seen the Lakers run more plays to get LeBron an open three-pointer than I see the Warriors run plays to get Steph a wide open three-pointer. And Steph is the greatest shooter to have ever played. And the Warriors can't figure out how to run plays for him. You see a half-ass screen every now and then. The rest of the time, it is up to Steph to get his own shot. Whereas you've got LeBron James taking another sandwich break at the top because no one's worried about guarding him, and he still can't make them. And Steph is left having to shoot over taller defenders, one or two people in his face, every shot. How the hell did the Lakers pull off that trade and get an entire new squad of talent when they supposedly didn't have any trading pieces? I mean, it's one thing to give Pelinka credit, but the thing is that it was an impossible trade. Even someone talented as Pelinka can't pull off something that's impossible unless Adam Silver makes it possible. Back to 185-pound Steph Curry not getting calls despite contact. What if Steph did what LeBron did? Because when LeBron made his spectacle, his embarrassing spectacle, and publicly complained to the league, instead of the league spanking that spoiled brat child with a belt and grounding him, they rewarded him. It's the same thing as parents who don't know how to discipline their child, which is all parents nowadays, giving the child a brand new car instead of saying, I'll give you something to complain about. I'll spank the living shit out of your sorry ass. What did the league do? They actually increased the already existing free throw disparity to appease a complainer. They appeased a complainer who was already receiving calls. Now, some of you LeBron fans will try to say that the Lakers got more foul calls because they attacked the rim. Well, that would be a good argument, except that the league released the statistics. These are statistics on missed calls. This isn't looking at all calls. This is specifically narrowing down the category of no calls or blown calls. And the Lakers benefited 61.8% of the time on blown calls. You know me, it's hard for me not to draw parallels between the decay of society and the behavior of people in the NBA, particularly LeBron James, because we, instead of shunning someone who lacks humility and lacks a grasp on reality and who acts like a spoiled brat child instead of acting like a man and a true athlete, a true sportsman, he gets applauded for his stupid antics and his stupid antics and his stupid antics. Give us more, LeBron. No problem. We love it. Because as a league and as a society, as long as you provide an excuse, the failures are acceptable. We think it's cool when you act like an egomaniac. Look, I don't want Steph Curry to act like LeBron. I really, really don't. But it's hard not to imagine how the league and the Warriors organization itself would react if Steph started behaving as disgustingly as LeBron. Give Steph Curry an actual star-studded team the way that the league appeases LeBron James by giving him all the best pieces that are available, instead of us having to make up stories about the Warriors being better than they are. I mean, I had to listen to the announcers last night talk about how incredible DiVincenzo was. And how long have we been hearing that Kuminga is an athlete who's going to be great for the Warriors? How long is talking about his potential athleticism going to go on before we realize you just have another NBA athlete on the team? Get rid of Clay, get rid of Draymond, pull a LeBron. Let's see how Steph does with a Jokic or an AD or almost any starting center.